this studio, not this studio, the studio on the second floor some weeks ago was John Textor, the man who, of course, was central to the headache, the big headache that developed for Crystal Palace regards Europa League or Europa Conference League football. We know how that turned out. But John Textor, nonetheless, is still an extremely wealthy individual. And I asked him, you fancy buying Sheffield Wednesday?
Look, I think, Sheffield Wednesday to me is the example of what's wrong with English football, because they should still have a chance at winning a championship every year, and they don't, right? So this, when we say, oh, Manchester City, they had this historic win, well, no, they're not really historic when you have that kind of advantage. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to see the rules allow a Sheffield Wednesday to, win the Premier League again. I don't know if that day will ever happen.
Four-time winners.
For them.
Well, I suggested it to John. Now, whether the Sheffield Wednesday fans will thank me for it, and I suggested the Turkey Al-Sheikh, because I think it's a club that's got immense potential if it were run properly with the right energy and the right determination.
You heard from Textor?
Yeah, and I think there is an interest. I certainly told him don't do it with Keith Harris, because I think Keith Harris is a waste of time, but if he is, it's up to him. But
football financier.
Well, yeah, the only football financier never does any deals. The relationship he's got with someone else. Whether John's seriously interested, I know he wants to buy an English football club, and I am happy to talk about Sheffield Wednesday, because I thought when I was there, I watched them. I think this is one of those big clubs that, if it were properly galvanised, look at when they played Peterborough in that playoff semi-final where they overcome massive adversity, lost the first leg 4-0, didn't they, or something, and then won the second one 5. And the 30,000 fans in the stadium for a League One playoff semi-final. That club has scale, opportunity, and energy. It's a big football club, and I don't understand why it's not being run the way it should be being run. It's not easy. I'm not suggesting it's go to A and get to B and you're automatically at C, but there doesn't seem to be. I mean, when I bought Palace was a decent-sized football club. I decided I wanted to put them in the Premier League inside 5 years. I did it in 4. Now, I didn't keep them there, but I got them there. Sheffield Wednesday haven't been there for 25 years. What was different about Palace and Sheffield Wednesday? What's different about Palace than Bristol City and Steve Lansdowne and all his money? At that time, it was me and my drive and determination who I put in place. So why haven't Sheffield Wednesday got somebody that's prepared to do that? Now, Chad seems to put some dough in there, but he's not done it the way he should have done it. And I think if someone really got hold of this football club, really galvanised, first of all, they'd be supported by everybody in the town. Of course, football fans change their mind pretty quickly. And you're seeing Newcastle fans now bitching and whining about their ownership model 4 years ago. They hated Wednesday. Now, because the Saudis aren't doing enough, they're beginning to go on the term, or some of them are, with the Saudis. So it's a thankless task. But I think if you've got hold of Sheffield Wednesday, with the scale of that football club, the fan base that's there, the heritage, history, and legacy of that club, you could really catapult it.
Would Textor be the answer?
Well, John is an interesting bag, isn't he? Because he's a businessman, and he's using sport as a vehicle for opportunity. So some would say that doesn't make him a football man, and sometimes he's a bit light on detail. But there is a serious interest in Sheffield Wednesday, and I'd like to see Sheffield Wednesday being pushed, really pushed. So Textor is better than what they've got. Some people might say, well, that's like jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, isn't it? I'm not sure that's right. I'm not sure that you can lay the blame at Textor for what happened at Palace and say, oh, there's a bad example. But you have got other situations like Lyon, and then John will point to Botafogo, won't he? He'll say, well, hang on a second, what about Botafogo? That's a success, so shut up, you lot.
Are you still talking to Turkey Al-Sheikh about Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah, I've spoken to him about a variety of football clubs, and he will do what he wants to do. But there are a few football clubs out there that would really pique my interest. Really pique my interest if I were to get involved in something, and Sheffield Wednesday would be one of them.
Okay. Nonetheless, Labour say they